I'd like to call the City of Ben Harbor Commission meeting to order. Begin with the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. I'd like to begin with the prayer by Commissioner Isom, and the pledge of allegiance by the City Manager, Manager Mitchell.
Lord, we want to thank you for bringing us together here in this meeting tonight, Lord. Just watch over us as we take care of city business. Just give us the mindset that it's all about the people. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please let the minutes and record reflect that State Representative Joey Andrews is present?
Noted.
I yield to the City Clerk for roll call.
Commissioner Adams,
Present.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Present.
Commissioner Edwards,
Present.
Commissioner Henderson,
Present.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isa,
Present.
Commissioner Singleton,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Mayor Mohammed.
Present.
You have a quorum.
This brings us to the approval of the minutes, March 20, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. There's support. Support is supported by Commissioner Edwards. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Isa,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
No.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to the approval of accounts payable listing. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support?
Support.
It is supported by Commissioner Isom. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Well, I was going to vote no, but I know how it is when people have been working and you have employees and they need to be paid. I just got this because there was some mix up in the email, but it's okay. And if I have some questions, I know Rhonda's on vacation, I will email her and hopefully she'll have those for me at next meeting. I do, however, have a question that I asked Marsh, and that was pertaining to the 10% of the federal funds that goes to minorities under the Section 3. And he never got back with us, but I would really still like that information from Evan Marsh. The percentage of what they may owe the city for those that did not work. And there was a few minorities in the community that did work on the lead lines, but it didn't last long. And there were like 4 or 5 contractors.
But 33% of the workforce was Ben Harbor residents.
I think I addressed it to him at one of the committee meetings, and I would,
Well, we definitely will get that information for you,
I
Commissioner.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Call for question.
Commissioner Isa,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
No.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to public participation, citizens' comments. There's a 3-minute max per speaker. Please sign in with the city clerk to be recognized.
Lee Reed.
Good evening, Commissioners. For those of you that didn't have opportunity to come out last Monday to go over the 50% draft strategic plan, you still have until April the 14th to do so. If you go to the bestbentonharbor.com website, you'll be able to download the draft, have opportunity to read it, and you also will have a survey that you can take and have that feedback still counted toward the plan. I'm hoping that all of you all take the time to actually read the document. It contains a lot of good information about things that could be in the plan. So you also have the opportunity to review the zoning memo, and the time schedule. This whole thing is going to end sometime in June, so you all need to really catch up on it. I would like to gently remind you that as representatives of the people, any of the constituents of yours that couldn't come out for whatever reason, you are their representatives. So I look for you all to step up, get involved in this. Thank you.
Emma Kennard.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm here on behalf of Benton Harbor Inner City. Yesterday, leaving church, I noticed there, right at Division and Superior, every last one of those drains was just packed with water, and it was like going through a lake there. So I didn't hear Ammer March when they made their presentation on getting some of those drains taken care of and the sidewalks done, that this area wasn't mentioned, and it's been in a mess for a long time. So I'm speaking on that. That's one of the places that's an eyesore, and there's many other ones that are eyesores, and I guess Ammer Marsh is in charge of getting a lot of these things done. If it's too much for them, maybe you should seek into getting another company to come in and work with them. The wall out here that I asked that we would put a lot of plaques concerning those that has once been here. I remember Miss Mary Carter, and I think some of you all remember her. She's quite, depressed about the alleys. She often came in and spoke about that. And she was such a wonderful person to try to keep up the block club and things like that. One lady said she has a small portion of money that was still left over from Miss Carter. And they would like to get things done here in the community. What I do notice that we got over $1 million worth of equipment. And I think that should be put to good use. I see one side of the street sometimes stuff is dragged down the street. Sometimes closing up some of the drains. But we've got to get busy and have someone to even check behind them, who's keeping record of what's being done. So the city's never going to move forward for the inner city if we don't have somebody to check behind those that are doing the work and make sure that it's done right. But please keep your mind on getting that wall there, because we can't name all of these streets. Nobody would know where to go. So we need a wall to sort of remember those that have been here. And, I never forget Miss Carter, because she was really a wonderful lady. And let's not forget her and others that have put forth great energy here in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will do that.
Spencer Nesbit.
Good evening. I just have a question tonight. Do we have a designated date or time that we start picking up the leaf bags and things off the street? Because there are some that's been sitting on the streets ever since the last year. They snowed on them and everything. So people are raking their yards now, and I haven't put mine out yet because I don't want it to be rain on, and then I have to go back and pick them. I'm lazy, and I won't have to go back and do it again. So I just want to know what day that we're gonna pick those up. Is it designated to one community one day? We do it again. So because there's a lot of bags that still been sitting out since last year. It snowed on them, it rained on them, and we just talked about the drains and things being plugged. That's one of the things that plugs up the drain. So we're making some progress in the city. So let's continue to grow. And like I said, I support the mayor and the things that has been done and the things that we're doing. So let's continue to do that. So, and also the ravines behind Cross, on 134 Cross behind my house. Do we have a plan to clean that stuff up? Because I've noticed people come out and just dump mattresses and things down in there. So it's an eyesore, especially in the summer, when people come by and take a look at that. So that's all I have there. Thank you.
Representative Andrews.
Thank you for giving me time to speak tonight. We're having a couple weeks in district, so we're making the rounds to all the different communities, bringing an update from Lansing on some of the things we've been working on as we're coming up on the first 100 days and the budget's getting underway. Anyone who's been paying attention knows that we had kind of a marathon in Lansing these first few months, repealing the retirement tax and expanding the earned income tax credit, repealing right to work, and restoring prevailing wage. Prevailing wage, something that I think will be particularly impactful here. So it'll prevent contractors from using wages as something that they bargain over in the contracts that they're bringing in front of you guys. And I think making sure that the workers are getting adequately paid, especially when 33% of them are coming from the community, is extremely important. We've also begun working on restoring some of the terms of bargaining for teachers and expanding some of the teachers' rights that were taken away over the last decade. And doing some work to restore more local control on things like wage setting. I have a bill that I'm currently working through committee right now that would restore the city's ability to set its own wages, paid leave, its own prevailing wage, something that was taken about 10 years ago by the Republican-controlled legislature. Budget negotiations are gearing up, so if there are any pressing needs in the city, please let our office know. We're trying to do what we can to get everything up in front of the Appropriations Committee as best we can. I know the governor is asking for a 5% increase in revenue share for the year, which is, I think, something that'll be a huge help. 5% permanent increase, and then she's also asking for a 5% one-time boost to the revenue share. So I'm hoping at least that will end up in the budget. So also some money's already been appropriated for next year for placemaking, which is a thing that I think all of our communities here can make a great deal of use of. So just things to keep your eyes on, and definitely keep our office abreast of anything that you guys are looking to engage in on these grants. What we've noticed is that sometimes smaller communities struggle to get in line to get the money, and then the larger cities, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, who have the resources and the staff, they get in line first, they drink up the money. So we're trying to help give everybody a leg up, get everybody in line so that we can get our bite at the apple and get a fair shot at the money. And as these programs start to become available, look out for emails from our office. My legislative director, Allison, sends out updates, and we'll send out updates as the budget completes, letting you guys know what to look out for next year, what to get ready for, all sorts of things like that. Final note before I run out of time, Jamario here has been working for us this year as our constituency services director. So if there's any needs in the city, and I can't stress this enough, if there's any needs that people have, whether it's government assistance, healthcare, housing, whatever the case may be, please send them our way. We can help them, and people need to know it's available. Thank you very much, and look forward to talking to you guys after the meeting.
Thank you.
No more comments.
And I was just, Representative Andrews, Commissioner Yarbrough, there's a allotted time every month where she's actually on the agenda
Oh, that'd be great.
to give a presentation. So
I'm in district most Mondays, so let's reach out to our office, make sure we have a regular spot on the schedule, because we keep you guys updated on what's going on.
That was a quick call.
this brings us to the consent calendar items. Are there any items that should be separated, or should the agenda be accepted as is? Chair recognizes Commissioner Clark Griffin.
I'd like to separate number 3, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into contractual agreement for lawn maintenance contract for the 23 cutting season.
Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
Support. Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. It is supported by Commissioner Singleton. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Isa,
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to our separated item number 3, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into contractual agreements for lawn maintenance contracts for the 2023 cutting season. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support? Support. It is supported by Commissioner Edwards. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes 4th Ward Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Okay, on the email, I noticed it was a long list of, contractors. But when I get here, it's revised and I see 4 contractors. So I kind of want to know why is that? But the main thing I wanted to discuss, because when I saw that list, I see one contractor getting $5,000 a month. And they mow at least twice a month, which is 10,000, okay? All the other contracts, lucky if they get like 200 or 300, nobody over $1,000. And I know this person is mowing a bigger section, but it's just like a despairing to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And then the lots are divided among the contractors. When this person getting $5,000 a mow, plus this person has another, got another bid too, where he's getting $750 a mow. And now I understand why this one contractor came last year shortly after I took my seat and was upset now that I see the rundown of it. I don't know how is that possible. Why is this? That could be separated and divided into contractors.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I too, when I looked over our agenda over the weekend, it seemed like it was more contractors. And right here, it clearly states split between all approved contractors, and there's only 2 contractors. And this isn't, something about this just doesn't seem fair. And I too got a lot of flack from a young entrepreneur that ended up having to take over this other contractors, finishing up some of their work that they were not paid for. And I would like to see this. I don't know how, and don't really care how it's split up, but it needs to be split more evenly divided. It really does, in all fairness. And being fair to our taxpaying residents, yeah. We really do. We really need to split this up amongst however many contractors that got a contract. This needs to be split up and evenly divided, or a majority.
So we have 4 contractors. Crystal Springs Cemetery is designated to Jack Campbell, which is, I don't know how many acres. This is all public information, so
Okay,
I'm just stating for the public to know what we're talking about. So that's the largest parcel, which has the largest amount in terms of the cost. Then you have Morton Hill Cemetery, Market Street, Hillside Island, and then you have the different lots that is split between all approved contractors.
How many was that, sir?
It's split between all of over 400 lots
I know that.
that the city has. That's split. But the equipment and the history and track record, which the city manager working with the city clerk where bids are submitted based upon the manager's managerial eye and working with contractors. These are the ones that was recommended to us for approval. So, as you stated, there is a split between all approved contractors for the 400 lots. It's only the Crystal Springs Cemetery, Market Street, Hillside, and Island, and then Morton Hill Cemetery, where we have 2 exclusive contractors that are designated for that particular job. Chair recognizes Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, mine is, I guess, kind of clarification. So if I come in and bid for these lots, so it would be up to the bidder to bid for that larger lot, and that would be on me if I had the equipment or whatever? Is that the process of it?
So the bid is put out and it's public, it's posted. So it's up to whatever entrepreneur, whatever contractor to place a bid on that particular RFP, which is a request for proposal. And that's what I'm saying, the city manager, based on our charter, is the authorized personnel to recommend to us for approval. So our role is not choosing the contractor. Legally, we cannot do that. Our role is to, based upon what is presented by the manager to us, recommendation is to approve, but not choose. Because once elected officials start choosing who contractors are, that's a real slippery slope. It can be, it don't have to be, but it's set up legally for us not to do that. Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton and then Commissioner Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I guess my thing is, I don't know if this is or not, but usually a committee, it's kind of
Exactly.
discussed in the committee. I know at some point we was talking about, I guess several years, we were talking about trying to bring it in-house. I don't know where that's at this point. I haven't heard further discussion on it. I know we were supposed to be looking at it, every year.
Yeah.
We do have some issues.
Yeah.
With the contracts and trying to figure out how to make sure we do it fair and all that stuff. But, you're right, definitely it's not the commission's duty to pick any contractors and not, but I think the discussion in the committee as to why making the recommendation. I know here we is again, it's April, and a few weeks, we're probably gonna start popping up, and then we're talking about the Memorial Day coming up, and so we definitely don't want to end up in a situation that had in the past, but, we would call some special committee meeting or something about that. Commissioner Isom probably had something. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Yes, every year we've been going through this, and it should have went through committee, at least the public safety, maybe personnel and finance. We pay a lot of taxpayer dollars for this, for the cemetery lots, and still get complaints about what's happening, so we need to follow this process, as I concur with Commissioner Singleton. We tried to put something in place to hire more public workers, a team, or something like that to get on the tax roll I know one year, we paid close to $600,000 for cutting grass. That's a lot of money. Them that's like 4 or 5 jobs at least. something, supervisor or something, but I know we can find a way to cut costs in this area. Every year it's been like a thorn in my shoe, that, you still hear complaints about the grass cut, And, citizens is concerned about their loved ones buried in the cemetery, what's going on out there? It don't look right, it ain't cut right. Then the lots, they run over paper, they still, and so I'm just going by what residents telling me, and here we go again. We write, it's like concur again with Commissioner Singleton. Memorial Day is here, we know we gotta cut the grass, it's been raining, and we right here again, and you total all this up, the grass gonna grow, they cut it to almost October. So it's gonna be again another $300,000, $400,000. We need to come up with a plan to solve this problem. So I think we should take it to, we got a public works, public safety committee coming up, or a special meeting or something to discuss this, not now, because it's not the time, but to really put, vet it out and, because here we go. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
I was just gonna say, I agree, Commissioner, it's not the time to have this discussion, but I agree that it does need to go back to committee because it shouldn't have come before us unless it had gone through committee. And so, with that being said, I make a motion to table this to move
Make a
this
motion,
to
I agree.
another,
Second,
to another committee.
Do we want to give the manager an opportunity to speak?
no. Shouldn't went to committee,
Mr. Manager?
first off.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commission, and residents. I want to just remind you of the year before last. That's when you heard all the complaints about the cemetery and cutting. Last year, we had one complaint. And that one complaint happened in April, May. And it happened because the cutter and his wife lost his wife's mother. And they had to leave town in a hurry. That's the only complaint we received about the cemetery that was valid. Everything else took care of it. Well, I can only tell you what I know. I can't tell you anything else. So, and let me say this. I've been here, this is my third year I fought with help. And we've been doing this cutting grass. And we have evaluated people that are cutting the grass. We know what their capabilities are when they bid, whether they have the equipment and the manpower and woman power or not. And we have a good understanding of the type of work they do. Now, you want cutting to be done properly, we made recommendations. That's the only way we know anything about these cutters, the recommendation. And just for those who might have forgotten, last year, we tried to hire 6 people in Public Works to come out and do the cutting. We had 1 person that had driver's license.
Point of order, manager has not spoken. He's the person that made the recommendation. So at least give him the decency to explain why he is recommended.
Now, let me finish on the good part about this. Mr. Little has gotten us a summer contract, shall we say, a contract for youth. And we're talking about adult youth, 18, 19, old enough to cut grass. And we're going to have them cutting the grass in the parks, which will save us a lot of money on grass cutting in the parks. As far as this hill is concerned out here, most of the cutters don't want to try to cut that hill because they're putting themselves in danger. And them and their equipment. We have one cutter who has cut it the past few years, has had no problems. That's why he has that. There's no unsupervised work here. Everything that's being done is supervised and signed off before it's paid.
Okay.
Mr. Manager,
Are we still open for debate?
well, Mr. Manager, so does this traditionally go through a committee?
It does. And that's the one thing we tried to time it out where we go through committee, but we're looking at, these guys need to get ready for grass coming up in a couple of weeks.
So, Madam Clerk, what is the committee schedule? Would this go through a regular committee meeting? When is Park and Recreation?
This could go to Public Safety and Parks, which meets next Wednesday,
And it could come back for our third.
April 17th meeting.
Would that give us enough time, Mr. Manager?
We debated on.
We got leaves that say how long we here.
Because this is my thing, we can discuss, whatever is necessary that would satisfy the questions of the council. But the worst case scenario is we have to put it back out for bid and go through that process again. And then I got people lined up at City Hall about the grass, Memorial Day, and et cetera. So I support the will of the council.
Call for the question.
Chair recognizes our senior commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad we're having this conversation, because last year I felt that it wasn't done fairly. That's my opinion, that it wasn't done fairly. And I see somewhat of the same program went on this year. We put out an RFP. I'm not sure what happened because I wasn't there when they opened it up, but I don't mind the job getting done. It's a great thing. But if our people are not working with these subcontractors, if they're just hiring their own people, then I have a problem with it. Because this is supposed to be our crew, and it should reflect our citizens, our residents. So I don't have any problem with the grass being cut. It needs to be cut, whatever we have to do. But if they are not providing jobs for my residents, then we need to look at it in a different manner, because that's a lot of money for those two projects. $5,750. That's a lot of money. And I'm looking to solve that hill problem, because if we put some ground cover up there, we don't have to cut that grass anymore. So I'm looking at some solution. And so since we can't seem to get our connections together on this, because I was under the impression that we were gonna go in-house, but we'll go what we have to go. But somewhere along the line, we have to make sure that our residents are verified that they're employed. And I would like to make sure whatever department that's gonna come out of, they speak on it, so they'll know that that's part of their responsibility, to make sure that we get jobs. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you just please explain what the bid process and how the bids came in?
Sure, so the RFP went out on March 17th. We give them 10 days to respond. All the bids were sealed and opened at once at noon last Monday. They were all tabulated as far as who bid on what piece of property, how much their bid was. We went through, we looked at low bids, whether there was only one bid on a piece of property, discussed with code compliance and the city manager on the jobs that they performed last year, and that's how they were chosen to be awarded.
What offices could you just,
Code compliance and city manager and public works all had input.
all had input?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Who's on the-
Commissioner, Henderson withdraws her motion to take.
I think it needs to go through committee.
Code compliance, all of them had input on.
I think this needs to follow our
So
process.
the meeting was with myself, city manager, Michi, and code compliance officer Bruce.
Michi is Mr. Meeks for the record. AKA Meeks.
I would really
So,
like to
Mr.
see this go through committee.
Mr. Mitchell, can you just talk about your timeline? Why, if it's traditionally going through public work, the public safety committee, why was your decision to bring it to the commission as a whole?
Because the committee does not meet until next week. And that would shorten the time span for them to get
Did y'all meet last month?
And when is the projected time for them to start cutting?
probably will be in the next couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, we had 2 trees to fall in the cemetery last week in the high winds. We've got to get those.
Can you rode across the community?
Chair,
Can I get a response to my request that for citizens, residents, and employee check from staff?
Mr. Manager,
You remember who's in?
you mean as far as, so the contractors hire,
Yeah, we'd like to make sure that we do a check on these contractors and who they're hiring. If they're not hiring Ben Harbor residents, I have a problem.
well, I can say, I mean, I'm not the,
I thought the committee was for this, Honorable Mayor.
this is in
I
front of,
wanted to address something and you just told me that I couldn't because it was.
well, the motion was withdrawn. But I mean, from what I've seen, Ben Harbor residents are working, cutting grass.
Can we send this through its proper channel, which is the committee that it needs to go through, sir? Please, thank you. Did I get a
Mr. Manager, as far as,
verifying that Ben Harbor residents are being employed in a lawn maintenance program?
is there, Mr. Manager, a way that the city, can we profile the contractors to find out who they hire? Are they Ben Harbor residents? Do we have that kind of power to do that? City attorney? Can a municipality approve a contractor and then come back to the contractor and say, we need a roster of all your employees, are they Ben Harbor residents, names and addresses? Can we do that?
I would say no. I mean, you've got, not for something like, you know, we can't control our lawn contractors as far as who and who they can hire and their ability to do their job. I suppose the city can ask for that and make a determination as to, I don't think that's a good idea. So I would say no.
Well, can you give us a reason why? Because your opinion is your opinion. I'd like to hear something.
Now, point of order, Commissioner,
Well, I don't have,
He's answering my question.
but you're directing it to me. I'm speaking to the attorney, so he can speak to everybody.
I mean, if we want a legal opinion, I would need to go back and do a little research and get an exact answer for the commissioner.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
And I think that because of the questions, it might be the way to go, but I would feel more comfortable, hearing, some alternatives, some, where we're gonna go in the future, but, this may, at this point, might be the thing to do, but, and then if this go to a vote and it hasn't failed, then that puts us in a position that we have to rebid again.
Yes.
So that's why I believe that instead of
Committee.
rolling over that we should.
Yeah, but if it goes back to the committee
It never went.
or it goes to the committee and it's discussed, I mean, we can put this, if it's a need
What is
to,
wrong?
talk about the future grass cutting, but the thing about it is, this is what's recommended. So either it's gonna be approved or not.
But this
Taking
is,
it to committee and talking about, are we gonna hire Ben Harbor residents? Can we get a roster of who's getting hired? We need to bring it in-house. What's the cost analysis? But at the end of the day, this is what's recommended by the staff of the city.
I thought we agreed that this wasn't the place. So it
This,
should
this,
be committee.
this is where
It should be
is.
committee.
So it's like if it don't get out of committee or if it is vetted in
It never
committee,
went.
this same recommendation is gonna be coming back.
It needs to go to committee.
At least you-
I make a
yeah,
motion that it goes to committee.
At least you have a case, to make the case for why this needs to
Jeez,
be done. I mean, it's just.
the process.
Mr. Singh, I didn't hear you.
Part of the process.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said, going through the committee, even if we come out that this is if this is the way to go, at least the case.
Exactly.
Would have been made, and that's the way we go,
Exactly.
but,
So the manager has to convince us,
No,
or
the
make a
manager,
case of why he's recommending these contracts.
he needs to follow the process just like we do. Period.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Evans.
Just 3 quick points, actually. One, parks did open up April 1st. I get a lot of that. How come this park ain't cut and all that? Not great. April 1st already gone. And if we go through committee, that's another month. A week,
It will be next week.
Next
It will
week.
come back to us the 3rd, but the same
thing is
is
coming
coming
back.
back.
So my second point is, to our attorney's point, isn't there a law where you can't open file on an employee? Once they've been hired, you can't open up their file just because you want to see their address with no criminal intent or anything? So can we go to any of our departments, say, hey, let me see the addresses and names?
These aren't city employees.
Well, but they're under, can we go to a contractor and ask them to open up their files?
That's not
Who's
what we
interested
would
in
be
doing
doing.
it?
That's what we would have to do to prove that they hired somebody from
No,
Ben
you're
Harbor.
just trying to make it more difficult. It just needs to go through its process.
Excuse
which is
me,
committee.
point of order, I didn't interrupt you, Commissioner. Adams.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's my point. I mean, that's
I mean,
for all of
can't-
us.
You can't steer contracts, you can't, for the council really is not even supposed to be involved
Correct.
in the selection of contractors. That's not our role. That's the role of the manager and staff per city charter.
Then why is we having this
So
conversation?
if the manager did the work, now I can go through committee, and we can stall it
That's the process.
and
isn't
talk about it and filibuster, that's fine.
it? Isn't that the process, sir?
But according to the manager's
According to our charter.
expertise, is that the time of grass cutting is here. Take it back another week, which we can, go through committee and bring the same item back. Or if we don't bring it back, then now it's delayed even longer.
According to
Chair
our charter.
recognizes, city attorney.
I mean, our process for all purchases, contracts, and sales, Article 4 of Section 2 of our Code of City Ordinances, where it talks about purchases and contracts over $3,500, and it talks about bid process. And I suppose while historically it's gone through committee, it's not necessarily required, but so it states that all bids submitted to the commission shall find any of the bids to be satisfactory, it shall accept the same. Such awards may be by resolution or ordinance, and the commission shall have the right to reject any or all bids and to waive any irregularities in bidding and to accept bids which do not conform in every respect to the bidding requirements. But it does talk about how the bids shall be open in public at the time, place designated, which our clerk said that took place. The bids shall be carefully examined and tabulated and reported to the commission, which I believe that is what's being done tonight, with the recommendation of the purchasing agent as approved by the manager. The manager is not acting as a purchasing agent. At the next commission meeting, after tabulation, all bids may be inspected by the competing bidders in lieu of a procedure for opening bids herein specified. The commission may direct that bids be opened at the commission meeting. So I think the city staff has gone through the process.
And the final is the approval.
Final is the approval.
So they followed the ordinance.
Yes.
But we get the complaints. And the management office won't even answer the phone. Okay.
You make a motion with table this too.
I support.
Motion is made to table to the Public Safety Park and Recreation Committee by Commissioner Singleton, is supported by Commissioner Adams. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
No.
Commissioner Henderson?
No.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to staff communication. Chair recognizes the Director of Public Safety, Director.
Mayor, I'm not ready. I'm making notes. Okay, so thank you, good evening, residents, commissioners, mayor, city manager. I don't have a report, but I have kind of a request. What I'm talking about now, what we need to figure out to do. So for public safety, I know we got a lot going on in the city as indicated by this discussion of things that need to go through committee. For public safety on two fronts, we have a lot of things that we need to discuss in public safety and legislative. And I'm wondering, if we were to add the things that need to be added, we'll be here for 4 or 5 hours every meeting. Is it possible to have special meetings for that? And I'll give you an example. So for example, public safety wise, we are working on a comprehensive plan for the summer anti-violence, but it's way more than just police arrests, traffic stops. Give you an idea. Yes, there is a layer of enforcement. We have community outreach targeting youths and families. We have churches that have come together. We have community partners that come together. We're targeting at least 3 to 6 apartment complexes. We're rebuilding the Ministerial Alliance as part of this now. That's a layer of it, a very, very, very important layer of it. We also have a gentleman and some community resident volunteers that are rebuilding the Block Club program that he's ready to present on. We're hoping to do it this meeting coming up. So that's just a handful of things. With the things that we've been discussing as far as possible legislative adjustments in our ordinance, just what we've been talking about, there's new things that come up there. Additionally, on the second front is code compliance. We're totally revamping that. As the citizens know, we're not doing a great job because we don't have very good organization. With that, we are totally revamping the whole department. Attorney Rock has been fiercely putting together proposals, drafts, documents, as well as other ordinances that need to be addressed by themselves. That list grows daily. We want to talk about the things as far as what that plan is going to look like to be more efficient and effective. That's dumping, that's trees, working on demos. We have a ton of things to talk about. And again, if we were to try to into 1 or 2 meetings, we'll be there forever. You know, we like to talk. So I put that out there. We have some comprehensive plans that we really like to get the public to know about, for you to know about, and how can we do that successfully and efficiently? Because I'm telling you, we're going to improve this thing. And I just need you guys to know what it is and get behind it. So that's all I have, sir. How do we figure that out?
I think we can have some ad hoc committees and work with our public safety department.
If can I just say that, yeah,
And
we meet once a month, but as long as you make a, how many hours?
18 hours.
18 hours, we can have a special meeting. I'm open, as long as we follow the law. Give me 18 hours of notice is enough for me. And we can meet whenever you want to meet, you know.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes the Community Economic Development Director.
Nothing really special this evening, sir. We are right at the moment proceeding and trying to get as much of our current programs and spending moving as possible, and also making preparations for HUD's visit in June.
Thank you. Could you just give us a quick update on the sidewalk?
Yes, the sidewalk program has, the bidding and award process has been completed. And let's say the bid and award process has been completed, and they have begun the process on the sidewalks. We hope to get most of it completed in the next 30 days before the May 2nd period to help with our expenditure.
For the sidewalks?
Yes.
And how much in allocation?
Right about $230,000.
And sidewalk repair?
Yes.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the City Attorney, Attorney Rock.
Nothing to report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes our City Clerk.
I really have nothing to report.
Chair recognizes the City Manager, Manager Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 things I want to say to the commission and to the public. Last year, we won this for some activities we were doing here in the city. This is an award by the American, can you see it? There it is.
The American Council of Engineers, Engineering Companies of Michigan, but it's national.
And we won this. So this year, we won this. And it is for our water project that where we came in 6 months early. The other thing I want to do is answer the question about leaves. Since nobody seems to remember the process. Leaves are supposed to be picked up before December 31st. No leaves are supposed to be put out after December 31st. Okay? Those leaves that have been put out that are out there now will put out after December 31st. But we're going to make a big announcement this coming year. We're gonna make sure everybody knows. We're gonna have it splattered everywhere. So people know the pickups are all before December 31st. Not after that. And we hope that nobody will leave their bags out and have to read bag.
State when they start picking them up again, Mr. Manager. This is April something.
When is the start date
Start date,
for
pick back.
residents to start putting the bags out?
This first week of
I
April.
think it was yesterday. They're gonna have to rebag because they're falling.
And is there a schedule for the street sweeper?
Street sweeper has been out already.
See, this is why this is the manager's comments, so I don't wanna, turn it into a Q&A. Please contact the city manager for any further questions, please. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, that's it.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. And thank the residents for taking time out of their busy schedule to come and see how your local government is working for you or not, because sometimes it just doesn't. The fight is making sure that it does, as you've heard here, some of it tonight. And I think we've discussed this before about the hill. I think it's probably time to just plow it up and plant some arboretas. It can grow back every year. I'd see it beautiful and purple every year. Just come back. And then just feel itself. That would save some money. One of the residents spoke about the creek behind their house. And it was interesting that they mentioned that because I ran into a young lady at the grocery store that mentioned the same thing. And it needs to be cleaned up. And I'm going to get with some people that work with waterways because salmon run from our first fish run through cross.
That's township behind.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. It's the first wild fish that run through there. and I'll work with the township, along with some other organizations. But that was very interesting that I ran into her and had that conversation. And some of the block grant dollars that was allocated for our youth employment, considering that we really can't tell the seasons apart anymore, and it's snowing in California like crazy, and it earthquakes and everything else. I think that we need to be acting as a city. If we have the equipment that the taxpayers are paying for, if it's outside, things need to be moving in bodies too. Wood chips need to be being heard because not just only the cemetery, trees are down in the street throughout the community because the high winds travel and break them. The street sweeper. I wish that Commissioner over Public Safety would see if in fact how that's working, because it would be nice if we all knew what the schedule is, because it's not fair that the street sweeper is just on the nicest streets in Ben Harbor, when quite a few of them have been worked on. I think it's lovely that they cross and keep a bridge in honor of that baby, Tawana Marie Floyd, keeping it clean and kids riding school bus across it every day. At least on the bridge. Now, what they see beyond that, it needs to be fixed. And why these youth that we have set for employment can't work the weekends with a supervisor, helping to clean the storm drains, helping to rake some of the old where no more buildings exist, because it's so snagged throughout the city that we can actually see what needs to be done. We should hear the wood chipper all the time.
Thank you, Commissioner.
If I may, sir, I want to give one more item for our firemen. I mean, we didn't have that much on the agenda.
But we still have.
Okay, go ahead.
Chair recognizes.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And I'm just gonna, let me just clear something up. Clear it. I'm tired of people taking credit for things they have not giving credit for what we're doing. And Reverend Pickens is the reason for this board. He put a petition out 2 years ago before the city had even decided to do anything about the board. Reverend Pickens, my house, and with water and mass and everything. This was 2 years before the city did anything. And after I took my seat, I remember Commissioner Cooper came with a state of emergency. And at that meeting, you could pull it too. We all had voted yes. The mayor did not even vote yes. But because we all had already voted, he went on and said yes. So I'm seeing different things where the mayor said he's doing this, done that. Without us, it's 9 votes. Nothing to be done. We did this. We did that. So, you know, it's election time. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. It's 5 seats. Think about what the ones that
Point of order,
what they
Commissioner
have
Clark
done.
Griffin.
No, I got
City
the floor.
chambers cannot be used
I
to
got
talk
the floor.
about elections.
Yes, we've been
Campaign.
doing. We've been
You
doing.
cannot.
I
You
got
cannot.
the floor. I
You
got
cannot.
the floor.
It's
I do.
against-
Yes.
against state
Yes,
law.
okay, we've been doing.
You cannot use city chambers
People can come in and say
to
they
talk
did
about elections. And
but you just come in here and say, I did this, I did that. The governor, I met with the governor, I went to the president.
that's a part of
That's
the law.
part of election.
That's
That's
nothing
part
to
of
do
you
with
campaign. That's part of you campaign. Well, let me just finish what I say. I skipped the rest of it, but if I'm gonna be cut off, I expect everybody else. I'm reclaiming my time. So, the prayer, all this, the governor coming down, the governor already finished stuff all over Ben Harbor. Reclaiming my time every Sunday. The president is spending stuff. So all this funds and incomes coming, it's not the mayor.
Thank you,
It's the governor. It's
Thank you,
the president.
Commissioner
I got 2
Clark.
minutes. I'm finished, but I got 2 minutes. But I'm finished. You welcome.
Chair recognizes Commissioner.
Thank you, citizens, for watching this. And all on YouTube, please pay attention to what your commissioners are saying. I believe we're on the right track.
Thank you.
If only we pay attention to the human infrastructure. The human infrastructure. Now, right now, we're putting all our money into and more. But we have to deal with the human in Benton Harbor. Special Benton Harbor. Benton Harbor been special all the time since I was a kid. We've been special. They taken things from us. They made sure we didn't have access to it. They wrote their own grants for us. This is our time now. So get involved. See for all the opportunities that are available to us. I mean, there's so much money coming into Benton Harbor, and there's so many opportunities. But look out for our newsletter and get involved and listen to YouTube, because once we get this chamber wired up, you'll be able to have some comment. You can stay at home and still have a comment on something. So it is a new day in Benton Harbor, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you don't squeak, every week there's a new grant. And so we're looking for grant writers. Anybody that have an understanding of grants, they need to step up, because in grant writing, you can write in a salary for the grant writer. That could be anywhere from 10 to 20%. So I'm calling out for all of us to get together. The way that we can stop gentrification is to come together and bond. So thank you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for coming out. Just like to read a quick announcement. Ben Harbor Now. Ben Harbor's Got Talent brought to you by No Broker Fishing and Cultivation, Delivery, and Michael Edwards, radio host of Ben Harbor's local station. Power 105.3. More performances will be held at Delivery 190. Also, a portion of the proceeds will benefit Harper Parks and Recreation and the DDA in helping beautify Big Harbor's downtown area. If any of you have read this, you will see that there's a deadline, supposedly today. But because of a few, well, not a few, but because of a couple of family emergency kind of slowed it down to get this out. So if you want to sign up on that day, you can. So the first one will be this Thursday. That's I'm reading it now. First one will be this Thursday. The second wave will be on the 13th. The final will be on the 27th. First place winner will perform in concert on the second Blossom Time Block Park, immediately after the White Sea Park. Also would like to say that most of them are ready for the weather to warm up. Long sleeve turtleneck shirt where you can get off, get in the house, you can find your hood, we would like, and you know that we're talking about cleaning up. My thing is this. If we do our research, like when we want to hammer somebody, if we do our research, we'll find out. Public Works, ain't no way they can do it. They can't. Do your research. 2, there's no way you can get these kids out of school to do no work. Can't do that. 3, I do it. I get out there and pick you up, stick your hand in the mud. Hey, it's my city. And then when I come here, I feel good. I really do. You know why? Did something. Talk is cheap. I could tell the blind man I'm Obama if he never heard him talk. He got no choice, right? But here's a guy that here's a guy I'm always admire. It doesn't matter what level of the political state he got on. To this day, if he was able, guess where he would be? Out in the neighborhood, helping somebody live better. Guess who that is? President Jimmy Carter. He did it before he got to that presidency. He did it during, and he did it after. So if we want to say we all that, then look at you all out here cleaning up some streets. It ain't all got to be in the same block. You can be on your block. Now they got somebody to clean it. So guess what I do? I go to somebody else's block. That's my neighbor, it's my friends, residents. Thank you all for coming out. And guess what? You love you.
Recognize Commissioner Ice.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank Joy Andrews, and St. Joe Commissioner Thomas. I was there last Monday where the St. Joe Commission voted on the approval MLK monument. So the Harbor Monument, and we got the. It's all about unity, bringing us all together. It's happening. So the United Civic Monument Project, 2 monuments coming up. So it's what it's all about, you know, in the work, bring these 2 cities together. The cleanup by Commissioner Griffin, Clark Griffin was great. Mr. Turner down on that boss head, getting down. Good job. Good job. Anyway, good job, man. You know, it's raining. So I couldn't get out there. Grab a lot of stuff, but conditions just want to get sick out there. So I want to commend what this lady have came in and just changed the set my neighborhood. I want to see book. She bought this house across the street from me, and it's been my wife been nagging me all 20 years. But what you gonna do with that commission? What you gonna house up? And it was just cars there, and just work on and leave, and just I seen her there one day. Next thing you know, having nails and she gonna. I can imagine how it's gonna look. Thank you so much. You kept your word. You said that house had bones. They say that on TV. That house had bones. She said that. I said okay then. So my wife's on my back. Thank you so much for changing that one house. It's changed the whole outlook of that neighborhood. Thank you. Good job how Public Works is doing. Doing that cleanup with Griffin. The Public Works guy, Ed, he got called to go do a stop. He didn't want to go, so it's just short-handed. They still get the job done. Thank you. God bless you. Expect great things in our minds going up. Expect great things. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd just like to thank all of our residents for coming out. Just a couple of things that wanted to bring up. Thank all of the presentations, Mr. Andrews, for giving us an update of what's happening with the state. But Benton Harbor is not done. It's not lost, but we're on our way to being just a really great place for people to live. We still have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work that's already been done. And so just there's a lot of hands in the how Benton Harbor looks and all of the work that has gone on. A lot of hands inside of it. There's no INT. I play team sports, so I understand how every person, every entity plays a part in the whole and getting something done in it. There's no eyes on the team. So yeah, in our community, that's definitely the case. But I wanted to just make sure, just talk to the commission about our master plan, making sure that we're in the deliverables, because we have not looked at that document. Please look at that document. There are a lot of things that are incomplete with that document that we're being handed that is not a complete. So please look at that document, making sure that McKenna is being held accountable for they receive any other payments. And speaking of payments, not sure what their final payment is supposed to do, but we definitely need to stay on top of that document, making sure that they're delivering what they're supposed to be delivering in that plan. Because look at the other one, yeah, they need to make sure that they're delivering what they're delivering. I think that was it. So thank you all for coming out and just looking forward to what is going to be in this next life, and for all the contributors to tonight's conversation is appreciated. It helps to edit and add to what needs to be done in the city. So
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank everybody for coming out. Also, the state, Mr. County, it's say your commissioner visiting citizens. I don't think I've been all the time. I've been here seeing the state rep, come visit commissions. That's up. My grandfather, somebody, he might have got it from somewhere. Confucius or somebody, he said, it's amazing. It's amazing what can be accomplished if no one cares what it. And, I say that, because my the water crisis and things. There was a collaborative effort on behalf of the citizens, local government, state government, federal government, nonprofit, city staff. It was all hands on that. And I think that's what happened. That's what got us this far. That's what got us being looked at as a model to how to do it. It was an awesome task. So, everybody should, if they want to pat themselves on the back, go ahead. It's a collaborative effort. And that's how it's supposed to work. As the work like that, look like results. See now, we finished, no, but oh man, just think what a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, we were looking at and know how it's gonna happen, but everybody put their heads together, get busy, and fought it out. It's awesome plans. Summer is coming about. Get information out, get groups together, and heard the chief talk about somebody trying to do block clubs again. That's another way to bring this community together. Get in our parks, use of our parks, and just meet, talk our problems out, come to some common, just start looking out for each other. That's what the community is about. Somebody else play the word game with words, communities inside that unity. Unity. It's going to be a great community. So we look forward to for the challenge. It's still challenging things, but I think our shoulders is big enough to handle it. We look forward to that's Commissioner Atkins.
Thank you, Commissioner Singleton, and all of the comments from the council, from the residents. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. State Representative Andrews, casting big votes for our area. City Commissioner from my sister city, Twin City, St. Joseph, welcome. County Commissioner, Pittsburgh, Chokwe, Pittsburgh, and just the county resident. Benton Harbor is got a lot of big projects that we're working on. I just would hate to see us settle down. Can't be focused on, of course, small things matter. There's some big things in the city of Benton Harbor. We still have $21 million to expend on our water filtration plant. That's already secured. Water distribution system, consists of water mains, consists of fire hydrants, replacement, pipes and different things of that nature. We have another $4 million for our water distribution system. We have the ribbon cutting coming up for the inlet being called Flats this May, $22 million development. In her honor, as Director Little said, we have over $250,000 sidewalks, repairs we done. We're 99.5% complete with lead lines. But another great thing connected with that is almost our water pipes, as well as new water, all new faucets. And I just did a confession, sometimes I have to stand in the shower, water to get hot. But I found out that water heater was almost as old as the house. And and I'm exaggerating, but with the new water heater, it's like taking a shower in your hotel. I mean, it's coming out. You know, I don't know how, but before it was all the way to the small things that impact the quality of life. That we sometimes take for granted. I did call today with my house as a partner, years administration to get the letter. So that project nationally is picked up. When they'll be hitting cities, larger cities, but again, looking at big, just Commissioner said, wasn't collective. No one can claim, say it was we. And I want to close on this point. I've come to this confession out of ball. I played on some of this team, top history, 1993, state runner. And we had Corey Childs went to Tulane. Ryan Eccles played for Michigan State. Nick Saban went on to play Paul. Prentice went on to play University of California. He had a nice got drafted right out of high school to the Seattle Mariners. So natural talent. But we all understood that each one of us was nobody in the team. So that's the kind of attitude I like to continue, because I know that the mayor can do nothing. It takes every commissioner's staff to make it hard. And if we're gonna move this city forward and take it to the next level, then the big argument, who gets the credit, I did it, you do it, we got to focus on the team and how we can accomplish and leave a better reality for generations. With that being said,
Motion to adjourn.
if I can make that quickly, 45 minutes.
We do.
Me. So we have no set, consider discussion, a statement for the factor, consider written opinion, form. Then, to go into closed session.
Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes. Yes.
I was trying my hardest. I'm laughing. Yeah, you driving the man? Anyway.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, we got this.
All right.
Okay. We don't talk.
How are you?
Okay.
I will see you on.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Good night.
How's it going?
Good to see you, gentlemen.
Yeah, we do. I think so. Yeah, the 1:30 for the mayor. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, looking forward to that. We're trying to get on the books in months.
Oh, boy, you think spring's gonna ever really?
Oh my God. The weather's it's warm, it's raining, and then when the sun it's windy. You can't win.
This climate thing is doing a job on us, I tell you.
It really is.
Yeah.
Really is.
You just don't know what to expect. Winter wasn't that bad. It just seemed to be gonna go on forever.
No, they get these ice storms. Yeah.
We're experiencing south California, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for the lakes. They protect us from all that stuff.
Sure do. They sure do. Yeah.
I never leave the state.
Starting to feel the same. Yeah.
Someone likes that.
Did they take a mic with them?
I think so.
Oh, wait, that's you. Oh.
Was that this? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's us.
I think it's because we turned off their.
That's a lot. Those guys that barbecue machine. So there's no, they don't have any, they got. Violation of their own charter because they can't. But they never will. I was in charge of this instead of having people involved. So you know, and I had to stay up there even though I was land. Now, so they back in. That's right. Right. That's how. So this would be considered. So I don't know how many hours. That's fine. So yes. This document right here. Implement policy. Now, when I think this out, and I take it back, it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
What is that?
You get a second delay, next street, but later.
What the what? I mean, hey. So first. What's going on with that? The one. Yeah, I said that a whole minute ago. Look. It's stuck. Girl, I don't know what's wrong. It's blocking everybody. No, it's back in there. Wait.
The Benton Harbor City Commission concerns on to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute, to consider a written legal opinion form the city attorney's pursuant to MCL 15268 and 15243. And as a result of our closed session, there will be no action. Is there a motion to?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams.
Real fast.
Support, real fast. It is supported by Commissioner Edwards. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner MC, Mayor Connor.
Yes.
Oh, it was good. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of time yesterday.